You are clueless and want to know how to build a successful nation? Say no more.
And at time of recording, the United States of America is the global superpower. Despite starting as just a collection of rural colonies, it now has an economy larger than the entire EU with an outsized cultural influence that means that I'm making this video on an American website and will be paid for it in American dollars, which can also be described as the global currency. This huge shift has only been made possible through a series of pragmatic geopolitical choices. So the first big decision that any country has to come to, especially a country made from lots of smaller bits, is federation versus confederation. Is the country a nation of states, or is it a nation state? Most founding fathers were strong believers in the ideas of state rights, and given that prior to the Revolutionary War and the existence of the United States as a concept, they were mostly governed separately, this leads you to understand that their only real unified cause at the time of its foundation was that they wanted to resist the British, and once that was done, what was the point from there? And this is where the big debate reigns on. Should the federal government be its most limited form possible to, protect the things that can't be done individually, or should there be a federal government on top of that? Again, confederation versus federation has a lot of different definitions, but for the most part, this means simple questions like what should take precedence, state law or national law? Should there be a national bank, or should it be entirely done by the state banks? I mean, after all, even paying for the Revolutionary War, despite being a very federal concept, was even paid for by the individual states and their various debts. So the second big geopolitical decision was, should the United States of America be actively seeking out new states and land to turn into those states? The story of how those 13 states grew is really interesting because the first couple of states, Vermont and then Kentucky, were 2 additional states added to the 13, but basically made up from the territory of existing states. That's with a very big asterisk, by the way. But it was the 16th